Hi friends, did you know that January is the birth flower of carnations? So I thought let's paint a few carnations and kind of check it out. All right, there's a couple different brushes. You could of course use an 8 round. This is my brush, but these are sold out, but you can use my second favorite, snappy short brush, the 8 Velvet Touch, and it feels great in your hand. I'm going to play with a Filbert and see what I can create with that. I can link a Princeton Filbert down below. I'm almost thinking too, you could use like a small square brush. I think that might be fun to use. This one is actually kind of a angle, but to get those little edges, I think that could be really fun. So let's go ahead and give this a try. And I think the colors I'm going to use, let's swatch it, see what we can get here. Get out my handy dandy swatcher. And I'm going to be using 140-pound cold press paper. There we go. And I'll show you the brush stroke that I want to use. So just wetting my brush, I've got my Artistos, which I need to give a little spray to. Let's go ahead and do that. Just wetting them slightly. You don't want them to be too crazy wet. All right, let's swatch out. I'll use the round brush here. And I think I'm going to use kind of this reddish color. Love it. There we go. So that's kind of like a pinky red. I've also got my 2 containers of water here, by the way. I've got some orange here. Let's swatch that out. These are always my favorite colors. And some yellow. There we go. And then of course our greens. So we've got our tree green here, which I think I'll stick with that. It's a little bit on the cooler side. There's a possibility I might just add either some MABs or maybe even an olive green for some darker areas of our stem. And then for the most part, the brush stroke I'm going to be using, which is why I thought, I'm going to show you 3 different ones. So I'm going to do a brush stroke with a round brush, a brush stroke with my Filbert, and then we'll play with this little angle brush. So the brush strokes I'm going to be using are going to be something like this. Because you know, those carnations have kind of that ruffly edge. So there's that. And then let's just see what we get with this brush, which is that angle brush. So I really like that one. That can really get some, I think that one could be the key actually. So there you go, just kind of wiggling it back and forth. And then we've got a Filbert here. Let's see how that one does. I think they're all really good. So whichever brush here you have, you know, use that. So there you go. Those will be kind of the 3 brush strokes that we use. All right, let's get started. This, by the way, was a little painting I did with the new, on Amazon, their Meeden, kind of their pastels. If you like painting with pastels, this is a perfect little paint set, and it's very portable. And that's a little bit wet, so let me grab a different, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to kind of lay out where I want my flowers to be. So I think I will have one, I don't know, right there. Another one right there. Maybe we'll do a bud here, just so I kind of have an idea of where I'm going to put those. So the first one I'm going to do is going to be with the round brush. And it's so good to play with all your brushes so you kind of find what's most comfortable for you. One second, I'm looking for my little eraser. There we go. So let's go ahead and start with that first carnation. I'm going to get that pink again, put it in my little daisy palette. Thank you, Meaden. Well, I mean, I bought it, but I like their palettes. And I'm going to go ahead and do some ruffles, making sure the base of my stems all point to the bottom center of my carnation. So just keep that in mind. You can even do some little guidelines to kind of direct you. Then I might have some coming up here. So let's go ahead and get that started. There we go. So I'm aiming those all towards the bottom of my petals here. Here's some more. Now, what I like to do when I'm painting flowers is I just kind of get that concept of what a carnation looks like. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but look how easy that was. Now I'm going to go in, and another part of that carnation that is so recognizable is they have that kind of bulb at the bottom. So let's just, and sometimes that's all it takes to make it recognizable. So let's do that. Now I'm going to use my handy dandy. This is by Zen Arts, by the way. I really love this company because it's all woman owned. I've had this for quite a while. We could, you know, by the way, we could add in some of that orange. Let me get a little bit of that. So we get some bleed here. Oh yeah, look at that. There we go. Maybe even make it a little bit bigger up here. If you ever just want to soften your flowers, you can always go in just with a damp brush and go around it like that. And you will definitely soften those edges. So look how pretty that is. And I just took a damp brush and went in there. You could go around here. Kind of play with this technique. So just taking a damp brush, and look at how beautiful that is. Okay, now for the angle brush. So let's go ahead, pick up some of our paint. Here we go. Tap, tap, tap. Rest my hand, and we're going to do another one here. But look at how beautiful that softness is around the edges. And this one, I think I will just make a bud. So something like that. And some little edges. By the way, this would be really great for those little ruffly leaves that we get a lot of times with the spiky edges. Just rinsing my brush out here. And I think I'll put some of that orange right in here. And now let's go in for our green. Again, we've got that kind of bulb type look. This is one thing I love about these angle brushes or straight edge brushes, because you can get a really chiseled edge. Now I'm going to go in around that edge. I've washed my brush, tap it off on my paper towel. So this is just barely damp. And now I just go around those edges. And look how beautiful it gives this painting. This really soft kind of ethereal look. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Look how soft. And then what I'll do is I'll go back in and add a little darker value. Okay, so that is that brush. Now let's go for our Filbert. Go into that pink again. Tap it off. Let's do one more here. I love these carnations. And Boy, this one's really easy too, you guys. I want to make it a little bigger, like that. But see what I mean? You get the idea that it's a carnation. It doesn't have to be perfect. But you think about what, you know, what is recognizable to you with a carnation. And now I'll go around it with just a damp, thirsty brush. So I have wet my brush, I tap it on my towel, and now I can just go around those edges and soften them up. Keep cleaning your brush so that, because you're in essence picking up some of this paint. But look at that soft edge. Now I'll go in and drop in some of our orange, as we've been doing. You could even use some cad yellow. There we go. Oh, these are so pretty, you guys. And then let's create, let's see, let's create, let me take a look at some of the little stems. So what I remember about, not stems, the little leaves. I'm just going to soften that edge too, soften that edge. You can even put a little bit of that pink in the bulb part if you really want to combine the two. And now I'll go in my green. Add a little bit more water, and let's create some of those branches that are, to me, so recognizable about a carnation. And that's going to be, you know, they always kind of have those little wiggly lines. Maybe add in just a touch there. Let's get some more of the tree green, sap green, any of those greens will do just fine. And I'm going to add in, let's see, let's add in a leaf here. Point, press, open up my leaf and come up. Now, because that is so light, it almost looks like it's in the background, doesn't it? If I darken that, it's going to pop out in front. Let's do another one here. Let's see. Point, press, nice long leaf here. And let's do a few more of those little squigglies. Let's see, let's add some in. I don't want them to get too crazy. Like that. I remember the last little, I'm just using the tip of my brush and very light strokes. I feel like I wanted to add a little darkness to that. And this is where I talk a lot about values, because you want to create that interest and that depth. Like that. I'm going to add maybe just a couple more, and I think we're about done. Point, press. Like that. There you go. Point, press. Now the last thing I might do here is just go in, and I think I'll use the straight brush. So swap them out, play with them, see which ones you really kind of gravitate towards. And then I'm picking up a darker value version of that pink, and I'm just going to kind of create some petals kind of here in the front, so they're darker value, so they're going to look like they're popping out a little bit. They're in front here, like that. And then I might just soften those edges. There you go. and a little bit more of that paint. And I'll soften those edges too, so they kind of blend in there. Look at that. Isn't that fun? And a few more here. So I'm picking up that darker value. Tap, tap, tap. And let's go into here. And we can add in just some fun. I don't want to get rid of that beautiful softness that we've got. So I'm trying to be a little bit careful saving that. But I think I'm about done. I might go in with some more of that green. Point press and come on down. And there you go. I hope that had some useful tips in there, and definitely choose a couple brushes, see what you think of them. And happy birthday to all the January birthdays. I hope you're having a great month, and I hope you give this a try. All right, everybody, happy painting. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you in a beginner's class. I will link that below. Tons of lessons and worksheets and all kinds of fun stuff. And I will also link all my supplies. All right, everybody, happy painting.